Is engineering, like when you're engineering, is stressful? Do the artists yell at you? I've just seen clips of artists yelling at
My favorite engineering yell at clip is remember Mary J. Blige's CD where like her and Puff got back together?
Yeah.
And like, it's Puff and Mary, it's the old school shit. And it's like a CD extra, and you could put the CD in your DVD on your computer or whatever, CD-ROM, and would play a video of her and Puff in the studio. And they're full on arguing about the mix. She's like, I'm just not feeling it. She's like, I don't know what the engineer did. Puff's like, I'm the engineer. I mixed the shit. And you see the engineer just be like,
wait, was Puffy well, it was a collaborative episode, but
Puff is probably like, be like, hey, turn this up. He's not sitting there like 12. I'm mixing a song is like 10 to 12 hours. He's not sitting there doing that, but he's probably telling him what he wants.
10 to 12 hours, huh?
Yeah, about.
So if an engineer is doing the whole album, how many
It's a song a day usually. If it's something that's more like consistent, like if you're doing like a rock band where every time you put up the tape or the session, it's the same kind of style.
Yeah.
Like these drums are done this way, the guitars are this way, the vocals are this way. You can probably do 2 a day.
Oh, okay, because you
got a flow, and like the sounds are going through the same thing, and you're just kind of like leveling out. But
that's a lot. I always wondered that, because they have the amount of work they do.
It's a lot.
It's insane, man. Compared to fucking some artists that are coming in smoking weed and just.
Yeah, and now talking about yelling, I mean, people do yell a little bit.
That's what I just saw a video. That's why a little baby yelling at his engineer.
Oh, really? But like
that's what the headline was. I was like, oh man, that's rough.
Yeah. But I mean, Jimmy Douglas, who was Timbaland's engineer, he was a producer. Okay. And he's like he did like Donna Summer and all this stuff, and then when he started working with Timbaland, he's like, yeah, I used to used to be called producing, and now they call it engineering.
Oh.
So he used to be like, and he was like a very competent, like more than like what a lot of engineers today can do, because like producing used to be like, yeah, let's do it again one more time, blah, blah, blah. And then producing turned into beat making with hip hop. And sometimes the producer isn't actually around when the song is cut.
Do you mean the beat maker basically isn't around?
Right.
Oh, okay. And then the engineer is cutting the record.
Yeah. If it's a singer, if an engineer doesn't have good pitch, like they don't know how to like what's sharp, what's flat.
They have to have them in there.
They'll have usually a vocal producer, which is usually like another songwriter who can like sing them lines, be like, sing it like this, or like,
okay. Yeah.
I want you to try ad lib, or like, let's try a harmony here.
And that's what you're doing now still, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I work for a label on the executive side.
And you switched, why didn't you want to stay doing that?
Because I met the guys who I loved, and I was like, no. Like, I just saw their lifestyle, and I was like, when I was 27.
You saw the engineer's
lifestyle. Met some of
my
my engineer heroes, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this.
It's because it's 12, 15 hours a day.
It's just like, I didn't want to be in the studio when I was in my 40s. That's what I just saw a picture of that. I was like, no.
Is it stress? When you say that, like, is it because they were miserable or no?
They were happy. Yeah.
Is it because you just didn't want to be in there at that age? Is it an age thing, or you saw the amount of work? Not that you're not hardworking, but more of like the like how much time you got to stay in there, which will push you away maybe from your family.
No, it was more like it seemed to me like doing 30 more years of the same thing, if that makes sense.
Repetitive. It was going to be repetitive.
You're just kind of doing that over and over and over.
Oh, then with your job now, you're not being repetitive.
No, it's actually great because I'm like, I know enough where like people try to test me sometimes. Like engineers will feed me a bullshit line or something. I'm like, no, we're not. And then the music comes in.
Because you know the other side.
I know the other side, and they don't know that. And they try to talk back sometimes. It's really cute.
That's hilarious.
And then,
anytime you say to somebody, "Hey, man, that's really cute," is another dagger in your
That's right. It's like me. I hate when people say "buddy," like "Hey, buddy." I don't know, not like Persian "Hey, buddy," but like "Hey, buddy."
Like in what
like
sense?
Bud. What's up, bud? Like the diminutive bud, like trying to put you in your place, bud.
That I don't like. But there's a big buddy term used in Toronto comedy scene because of one guy.
Which guy?
Monty Scott, a very funny comedian in Toronto, said buddy a lot.
Yeah,
but that's it was his dialogue. He's from Scarborough.
Okay.
So he'd be like buddy. And
like
then
guy? Hey, guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like but I mean excessive.
Yeah.
But you didn't even kind of notice it after you got to know him.
Right.
What happened was everyone, then like a bunch of other people, then another funny comedian, Alex Pavone, moved from Toronto to New York.
Yeah, I love Alex.
So he starts saying buddy to all the American comics.
Yeah.
So when I remember getting there, everybody said buddy.
Everybody said buddy.
Everybody said buddy. It was, and then they were like, and then we had to tell them who created it. Basically, it was Monty.
Yeah.
But now it's just very, very funny because as you said that, it reminded me. I'm like, oh man, you'll be in a circle in New York or at a comedy club in like 5. Even Nathan McIntosh, another Canadian guy who lives in New York, he says buddy. It's just, and we all were like, were we saying it?
Right.
And not knowing, like we were knowing, but it's so. And
I remember the Toronto guys used to come to Vancouver when I was growing up, like in high school, and they'd be like, they would say the guy. I'm like, what is he doing? But then people started saying it. But then he left and everyone stopped.
Dude, I remember when I got to Toronto, because in Windsor you never said guy.
Yeah.
So when I got there, it was like guy was heavy.
Guy,
like
but now it's gone.
Gone. Right? I don't hear it anymore. This is around 2006 to 10 maybe.
Yeah. But they're bringing like Air Force Ones back. Let's bring Guy back.
Yes.
Guys in Air Force
Well, they
Ones.
say fam now a lot.
Fam.
I hear fam in Toronto.
Fam kind of stayed. Yeah.
I feel that's more of a British Canadian. I don't hear fam in.
I hear on the East Coast. You don't hear it in LA.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah. I don't even hear it in do I hear it in New York?
Yeah.
No. I like partner. Partner. What up? Or slime. I still don't know what that means. What up, slime?
Slime. I never heard slime.
I don't know what it means. It might be.
It might be.
It might be gang. I don't know. I just hear it's a song. In a song I heard it like, what up, slime?
Yeah.
It's called Slime Mentality. I was just listening to it
on the way
by NBA Youngboy.
Yeah. Yeah. Slime fam. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Yeah, I get. Please do it because I don't know the exact.
I did a little bit of research on you, 5 minutes worth before you came, and you need to update your Wikipedia.
I don't even know how to get into that. I will.
You got to get somebody on that shit. No, it doesn't say anything about Ramy. Nothing.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get on that.
Get all your fans. This is communal work. Get on there. Help Dave out. Update that.
Oh,
shit
is that
for him.
someone who updates it?
Just the world.
Really?
People are like I could go on and be like, oh, Dave's missing Ramy. Let me add that.
Wow. I'll tell I didn't know. I don't know.
About you guys tell your manager, who's a great guy, by the way.
Great guy, man.
Such a good dude.
He's
such a chill vibe. He's like, this is what you want in a manager. Someone who's like, he's very comforting.
Bro, he's very calm. He's like, and he's young.
Right, young. And he reps like all these guys I like. Like Moranzio.
Oh, I didn't know. I know you could probably know better than me. I don't know.
I mean, I just met him and found this all out. But Moranzio Vance. Daniel Weingarten. I'm sure some other guys too.
Yeah, he's very chill, man. You don't have to worry that, he's embarrassing or anything like that. Not that, you know what I mean? He's not wild. I don't know if he's wild. Like, I've never seen him act out of pocket or wild. He's very chill.
Right.
How you met him is like he's very chill.
That's how he is.
He's like, hey, we're gonna do this. You want to do this? And
right.
He's like very calm.
Yeah,
which I enjoy.
What do you feel the benefits are to having a manager?
Well, they probably like the mapping out. Like they'll map things out for you, but they're also looking. I feel they're looking out for you. They're like searching for things for you that I wouldn't probably be searching for, or wouldn't. I wouldn't have the accessibility to get. He can do it.
Right.
So he's like plugged in.
Do you ever call him? You're like, I want this. Make it happen.
No. What I would do, I just got with him too, but I've had a Canadian agent / manager because there's no managers in Canada kind of thing. Like,
really?
Well, it's more of it's your agent. You don't see like how there's so many managers here. Like in Canada, there's like. It's just you're with Grand Wave Agency is what I'm with.
So agents in Canada just get you work shows.
They kind of act as both sometimes. Okay. Like my agent in Canada, Morgan and Carolyn, they'll act as both.
Yeah.
Morgan, I talk to a lot more, acts as an agent and a manager at the same time. So I would send them emails like mapping out what I would like. But not in a like aggressive way. You know what I mean? The only time ever it would get aggressive is if like I felt it was lacking. So then I might be a little bit stern, but mostly it's like they get it. I'm like, yo, these are things I would like to do. Let's try to do them within the next
let's make it happen. Yeah. Ivan Decker was telling me like sometimes in Canada, like they don't update who agent and manager is sometimes. So he'll do this thing for like JFL or something, and they'll be like, all right, which one of these 7 people is your actual agent? Because we have all these people on file.
Yeah, they don't. Or they kind of get a hold of you and they don't know who your agent. They're like, yo, man, your agent says he's not with you anymore. I was like, yeah.
That's right. Send me the money.
Yeah.
I'll pay him out. What about flow of money? Is that something you manage? Like, does money get paid to you first, and then you pay your manager? It goes to the manager, and then it pays to you.
Yeah, they break it down.
Yeah.
Unless it's like if I did a gig for somebody who I was very close with, sometimes they'll hand off the money to me, and my agent won't partake in that. Like if it's a dealing that I've had, I was like, look, man, this is a deal I'm doing. I'm brokering
Yeah, this is my mixtape. Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah,
this is not.
This is not with you.
Yeah.
So then it'll come to me, but for the most part, it comes to them. They break it down and send it off to you.
Yeah. Comedy mixtape.
Comedy. I tried doing that.
Did you really? How'd it go?
It was like on a CD.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. I can't, dude. I'm talking 2006 or 7.
But it was comedy.
No, what we did, it was called The Ghost of Pryor. It was very, very arrogant.
Okay.
Very I was out of line. But I didn't know I was young. I was just still the biggest Richard Pryor. I loved Richard Pryor so much. So I just had this idea. I'm like, what if I went around different clubs in the city in Toronto and just cut and then recorded the time and put that in. Mm-hmm. And then I had a DJ who would like do the mixes in between. And then I had a half hour set at the end of it. So it was like and then I think there might have been his sketches in there. So it was I was like, what if you had a comedy? Because I was so big into mixtape at that time, and they were big at that time. I was like, what, is anyone doing comedy mixtapes?
Yeah. No.
And then years later, like Comedy Records, which is a label out in Canada, Barry Taylor does it. He put a compilation album together for us in like 2009, I would say.
Right.
And that was dope. And I was like, yeah, they should do more. Because I asked them like a few months ago, I was like, yo, you should do it again.
Yeah.
And rent out a theater. I think it'd just be so dope. Like a Wu-Tang.
Yeah, like a posse cut comedy album.
Like Griselda kind of.
I mean, that's what XM radio is. It's just like
basically,
this guy's closing bit. This guy's closing bit.
It's all, and it would just be like so dope because Comedy Records is still going since like 2000.
We'll get DJ Clue.
I would love Clue on there, bro. I used to have those tapes.
Yeah.
I think so.
When they first came to Van, I was like, whoa.
Nuts, right? Fabulous is on. Like, I think I just saw an interview with Fabulous talking about it. Clue was the guy, dude. The Professional. The album cover had the chain, right?
With the chain with the question. Yeah. Yeah. And Funk Flex mixtape. Mixtape on it. Like, he had a legit A&B sound you could buy.
Dude, you were hyped because they had back then they were freestyling.
Yeah.
Or not, like, I don't know if they were legitimately off the top of their head, but like you were waiting for like a Fabulous freestyle. Paul Kane, is it? Something. He had a click that he would run with.
Or like a beat of one song that you love with like this other guy rapping on it. And
50 did that. That was like what was so dope about him, I feel, back then.
Yeah, he did a lot of that.
Yeah.
But you have a big rap, kind of a love of rap that we shared at your apartment in New York, which you showed me all the freestyles channels.
I think I got into that when they had Smack DVDs.
Yeah.
So now Smack's like a full-blown league where like you can even order it on pay-per-view, and I think
that's crazy.
Yeah, they're making millions. They must be making millions. So now I saw a link. Did you see? I thought you sent it to me, but where Drake purchased some kind of like company that it will broadcast rap battles now.
You were telling me about it.
Oh
actually.
Yeah. So it's like Caffeine or something.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm like, this the league is growing from, because I used to watch them on like YouTube in alleys or just warehouses or even clothing stores.
Yeah.
Like King of the Dot. That's how, like, I remember in 2009 maybe or 10, I saw one and it looked like it was in an alley.
Yeah.
It was, who is it? I met him later on too. Not Holohan. It's Holohan.
Right.
Yeah, Holohan. He was in Calgary. I remember I met him there, and it was him versus shit, dude. That's gonna slip my mind, but I'll get to it.
Yeah.
But it was like early on, and then it grew into a league now. Now the King of the Dot is like worldwide pay-per-view events, I believe, and it's just like events everywhere. So it's wild how it grew, and I was just a big fan of that culture, just the wordplay and how they control a crowd.
Yeah. I grew up with a lot of guys who were great battle rappers, and there'd be like after high school battle raps and like people from Toronto coming and you'd battle them, and it was great.
Yeah.
It's interesting watching like roast battle now because it's kind of in a way a rap battle.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of time to write it.
You get a lot of time. But also rap battles you do, but rap battles are like 2-3 minute rounds, sometimes longer with these metaphors and these like jokes. It's so I've so much appreciation for it.
Yeah.
It's so difficult, I
But
feel.
like with like the energy of they took the energy of a rap battle and put it into comedy, like with DJ Coach T hitting the sound effects,
like,
and you're just like that energy of people standing and cheering. And
me personally, I'd rather always watch rap battles over, like, I've watched the roast battles and stuff, but I just love something about rap battle.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's the next level.
It's, you know what I mean? Like Disaster, Iron Solomon, Pat Stay, Sue Surf, like Hall of the Dawn. How could I forget? Why am I slipping?
Did you ever think about rapping yourself?
Oh, sorry, Loaded Lux. I forgot. No, because I remember we did a rap battle, comedy rap battle. Yeah. Early on in Toronto at the Comedy Bar, maybe 2009, and now it turned into it was rap battles, which now it's like very successful. And was that Just for Laughs? They do characters. Oh wow! So you have to rap battle each other in different characters. Okay. But before when it first started, it was just your joke. You're doing a roast. It's like a rap battle roast, so you're actually rapping. And I remember I did it did I go against this comic named Evan Demaray, a friend of mine, and it was awful. I was awful, and I never again, dude. I remember bombing so hard. Yeah, I was like, never. I remember what I was wearing. I was like, never again, man. I was wearing these like acid wash type jeans with a black shirt with white stripes, like.
Did your opponent mention it?
No, I don't. Maybe, and I was wearing Reebok pumps. Remember the D Brown,
maybe
from the Celtics. Maybe I got it wrong, but the black and yellow with the pump. I think I got him out here, but I bombed. I was like, never again, dude.
There's a guy I grew up with in Vancouver, a good friend of mine, Emotions, and he was like one of the main battle rap guys in Vancouver. And I just remember him like battling this one guy who was wearing like a visor, and all his curly hair was sticking out. And then he just ends it with like, and I never thought I would be battling Susan Sarandon. And you just see the guy's like his little tear coming down because it just hurt him so bad.
Bro, it hurts. It hurts, dude. I've seen like grown men up there. I'm like, he's hurting inside. So I never did it again. I don't ever, I'm just not good on beat. I remember I rapped once, like we were all drunk at a friend's house. Yeah. And he's a musician, like a real musician, and he had a recording studio. So he just put on a beat, and I was wasted, and he was like, yo, you should rap. And I remember looking at it or listening to it again, and I was like, what the fuck was I doing? Yeah. I don't want to do this.
But you did it. I don't have this. Well, what's it like being in your position? Because like you have a lot of things, like a lot of boxes checked that a lot of comedians want, like Netflix, Juno, you're on a big show with credits. Does that affect like your trajectory and what your future goals are? Or you just feel like you're in a great place and really loving it?
I really love it. It took a long time to be grateful for things. I think for me personally, because you always wanted the next thing, and the anticipation, the anxiety there, and it like kind of weighed in a lot on my mentality or my mental health. I would say over like 10 years, it probably affected it like pretty rough. And then I think at one point I was like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I just want to have fun. So then so grateful and blessed that those things came about, but it was a lot of years of like, just like frustration and, wanting more, and then getting something and then not really being like and cherishing it and embracing it.
Not being in the moment to be like,
I did a lot of not in the moment things. And then now for sure, grateful and live in the moment. But of course I aspire to want to create more, like, cause I know it's, you never know, what I mean? Yeah. I remember, was it last year? A comic was like, "Oh man, that's a great year, man. What about next year?" And then I was just like, I'm not even in my head thinking about that. Man. Whatever next year is, whether it's lower or higher, man, what a time now. Yeah, what a great time now. Right. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like to be able to stop like as something's happening and taking in and be like, this is what it is.
And when
then it's gone. The moment's gone.
So that's why I cherish it. Like when we filmed just the second season, I just cherish it, man.
Of Ramy?
What a good time. Yeah, what a fun time. Just cherish it.
With your friends.
Yeah, and then but I want to create for myself too. So I've been working on that. But it's like, I'm constantly trying to like hustle and work and stuff. Right. It doesn't stop. As you know.
Right. And it's also like, I can't remember who said this, but comedy is like you're living your life in the future. You're like, what am I doing next month? Where are my dates? If I don't, like, what am I like, you're always like planning something 3 months from now.
I heard this.
Do I have my flight? Do I
have... the flights are always, you're like, do I have my flats? But who, I was just sitting around watching those Hollywood Reporter on YouTube where they do a round table with the actors.
Yeah.
I never saw one, and I watched one, and I was like, oh, this is cool. These are like interesting to hear. Like actors at that level have anxiety,
right?
Yeah,
like Brad Pitt. Like I don't know, Quentin Tarantino. I'm embarrassed. Oh, you're like what? Yeah,
yeah. There was one where Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
am I saying it? Yeah, he said a lot of times, you know, like someone will be like to him, or I don't know if he was saying it happened to him, but he was like, "Hey man, you're gonna make it," and then he was like, "I am though. Like if I'm paying my bills off of this, I am."
Right.
And I never, you know.
Oh, so he was trying to like be like, "Don't worry, you're gonna make it." And he's like, "I am making it."
Yeah. Whoever, you know, when like people see you sometimes do stand up and they're like, "Hey man, you're gonna make it," but you're like, "Well, I'm headlining this club."
Right.
They paid me and flew me out.
Yeah.
Like I get what you mean.
Right.
Like, I understand that, but it's also like for the performer, you could take it as you could take it bad and be like, "Oh fuck," like you know, or you could take it as like what he said. He's like, "Yo, I'm paying my bills with this.
Right.
This is dope. I made it."
They always underestimate like people, like the person who's headlining is making a living. And they're doing good. So they think they're doing less.
They're doing less, but in their heads, they're like, it's Kevin Hart or nothing else.
Right, but then they see guys who like they see on TV, and he's like, oh, he must have $100 million in a private jet. So they overhype the guys on the top, and then the guys on the bottom who are doing it, they're like, oh, you have nothing.
Nothing. Because I remember somebody was like, oh man, you're on a show, and they're like, oh, you live in this neighborhood? Oh, I was walking in Ridgewood where I live.
Yeah.
So you've been there, but further down, like, and this girl, I had my headphones on. I was trying to go to the bank, and then I was trying to go to the gym. I looked like a mess. Like I was
but appropriate for the area.
Appropriate for the area. Very relatable to the area. And she motions to me, but I'm like, I don't know, man. She's asking for like where something is in the neighborhood, and she goes, oh man, Ramy on the show. I go, yeah. She goes, oh man, what are you doing in Ridgewood? And I was like, getting a haircut. That's what it was. I was like, getting a beard trim. Yeah. I live here. And she goes, oh man, you live in Ridgewood? I go, yeah. But again, she probably did the overshoot.
Because you see someone on TV, and it's the economics of Hollywood like make no sense, and so people just see it and they're like, he must just be swarmed and famous and like have all the money in the world.
No, yeah, exactly. So it's like, I think it's so both.
I mean, I'm sure you do, but it's just like people don't have a good sense, even within the industry. Like sometimes you're like, because people like live so far above their means, especially in music. You're like, oh wow, like that was a big genesis of why I wanted to do this pod, because I saw so many people like get $500,000 advances and then buy the $300,000 car, and you're like,
they didn't know about taxes.
They didn't know about, see, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't know about taxes. They didn't know about just not also a good investment, all those things, you know.
So you saw it in a manner where, like, did they go broke after?
Some did, some don't.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, there was a story I think about Pharrell where Pharrell got like some money for producing that song for Mace.
Oh, bad boy.
I don't think it was that one. Okay. But, why are you looking at me?
Oh, yeah.
So then he went to like Ralph Lauren and like spent all the money. And someone asked him like, why did you do that? He's like, well, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make more money. So it's like so sometimes it's like you spend and then you trim the tree and then the tree grows.
Yeah. And
but sometimes you trim the tree and the tree dies. So you never really,
well, taxes, like taxes, you hear so many horrible stories.
Will Smith had a tax thing at one point.
Before Fresh Prince?
Yeah.
Oh, he told that story where he's like on a bus or something and people are like, he was like famous but broke.
Yeah. And he made a movie about it.
Oh,
I mean, kind of. That one where he's like his kid and he's broke and he's...
Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah. It wasn't about him.
No, but that's funny. That movie made me...
I think...
that shit made me cry.
Wesley Snipes had something
for
too.
Sure, tax. Because you don't know, even in a... Well, yeah, when you see... Like, sometimes I'll look, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the money's gone.
Yeah.
Before it gets to you, you're like...
Yeah. Or even like, I mean, a lot of us are contractors in this business, so they don't even take the money out, and then they wait... And you're supposed to send it in.
Yeah, well, in Canada, right?
No, they do that here too. I mean, you might, depending, some things you're an employee. If you're an employee, they take it out.
Okay.
If you're a contractor, like...
if like, let's say someone books me for a gig, I'm supposed to give the taxes. Like if someone...
Yeah, someone hires, I don't know, do you have a loan out or you just pay yourself?
Shit, I just heard about that word, loan out.
Like you have a company?
No.
Yeah, so when they pay Dave Merheje for headlining,
yeah,
usually the taxes are not taken out of that.
I got you.
And you got to go. You got to deal with that with your accountant.
But if you work for a company, like let's say in acting, right?
Yeah.
They already take, because I've seen them take it off.
Yeah, acting, they'll take it all out because they have to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah, but it's good though because then you don't have to worry about it.
That I'm grateful for. I'm not getting like, but I also don't have a crazy spending habit like where I'm like gonna go to Ralph Lauren.
Right.
There's like a Versace shirt I saw on this website called Go, and I've been thinking about it for a week.
How much is it?
$900.
What? What are you, Biggie in 1995?
I don't know.
Versace shirts?
Versace. You know why? I'll show you after. It just looked so ridiculous. I needed this.
If this pod was successful enough to have a guy pull it up, I would pull it up.
It looks ridiculous. And then my friends don't help because they know I buy like shirts like that. Not like at that price, but they're like, so they were like, yeah, you got to get it, man. No one's against it.
You should go back to Ridgewood with that shirt.
I love Ridgewood. I'm still in there though, but
what, like, so you have an eye for fashion, and I see your hat, Rockefeller. Rockefeller.
Yeah, this Rockefeller is like a very dope rapper from Montreal, Narcy.
Okay.
You know, if you look up, you should look up his music and stuff. It's really dope. And he's like
from Iraq.
Iraq, yeah. I don't know if he was born there. I think so.
Has some heritage.
Yeah, I don't want to get the information wrong, but he has like hats and hoodies, and I love it. I have a hoodie.
Yeah,
and I was such a big fan of Rockefeller Records back then.
Yeah.
And when I saw
too,
that, and I was like, man, I've taken pictures. I was in a bar in New York, and like I must have took like 3-4 pictures based on the hoodie. Mm-hmm. People are like, yo, because they get so geeked. Rockefeller was like that time with Beanie Siegel,
it was on top.
Man, like Jay, they're
on top of the world.
Man, the chain's amazing. Like just like everything about Rockefeller Records, Dame Dash, all of it was dope. So when he did this, I was like, I want whatever. Like I buy it. I just want it. He's like kind enough to send me some stuff, and his stuff. Yeah, check it out. His song is on the first episode of Ramy at the end. So when it goes to credits, before it goes to credit, his song comes on.
Nice.
Super great.
The Ramy sound bite of like when it plays with the little logo is so fresh.
Yeah. Dude, the whole thing.
It's just perfect because it's like you don't want a whole intro where it does like soft pans between you and then the other guy. Like that's just so 90s. But like just having like a little logo is like all you need.
It's the whole but check this song. Like it's my favorite song.
So when I first moved to New York, I was still in an engineering mixing thing, and I was like, I had my beat CDs, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Jay-Z's studio.
Oh, a Baseline?
Baseline. I'm gonna go. So I've like found the address, and I'm like waiting out front, and I'm like buzzing, and like I can't get in. And I did the classic, like someone went in,
and then you went in,
and I went after him, and then I'm in the elevator, and I'm like, so I press the floor, and I go. And then it's just a glass door and it's locked. So I start banging on the door. And this huge guy comes out. He's like, can I help you? I was like, hey, I'm here to see if you guys need an engineer. And he's like, 1 sec. And he goes and he comes back. He's like, all right, no one's here right now, but I'll give you your number and I'll call you. And they never called me, but I started like throwing my beat CDs around. Like I was leaving one on the table, leaving one just on the way out. He's like, yeah, you're going to call me? Like putting the CDs
That's
around.
Awesome, dude.
Nothing ever came of it, but I was like, that was what...
What did it look like? It was just a glass? Did it say Rockefeller?
I didn't even make it into the studio part. They're like, you stay here. But the old way of hustling used to be like you got to force your way in, like physically into a place. Now it's just like I DM somebody and you're like,
Aaron. Well, Big Sean said that he went down to Detroit when Kanye was there and rapped to him on the way out.
Yeah.
Because he knew he was freestyling on the radio. Like, his story's pretty cool.
Yeah, like how do you cut through the noise? Or like,
back then you had to
same
like pull
with
up.
What's the college rapper dude? Signed to Rockefeller.
College rapper.
He's like huge.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Not Chance. No. J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Oh, yeah.
So J. Cole did outside, he caught Jay-Z.
Yeah. But and then, dude, because he talks about it on one of the first two of his albums.
Yeah, like Interlude or something.
Studio albums. Yeah. Dude, I love his mixtape Friday Night Lights, still one of the best ones, man.
Yeah. But Jay-Z was so good at like finding a producer who was up and coming and being like, you're doing half my album. Like Timbaland, Just Blaze, with Kanye, with Neptunes. Like he always rode the hottest producer wave.
And Young Guru's a producer engineer as well, right?
Yeah, more engineer.
Okay, yeah. I like that, yeah.
And then when they shouted out engineer, like Young Guru, I was like, first of all, why is Guru from Gangstar Engineering?
That's what
I thought. I was like, first of all, he's old. Second of all, he's engineering. Is that rough over there? And then you're like, oh, it's another young Guru. And then Guru actually called him out, said, I'm Guru. You can't be a young Guru.
Oh, really?
He tried to like, yeah, like.
What did Young Guru do? I don't think it was in malice, was it?
No, he was like, you're disrespecting me by taking my name.
Fuck,
and he was like, and now it's like Lil Nas X. It's like 3 rappers merged into one.
Lil Nas X, that's fun. And Nas didn't care though. I think they did a song together. They did Panini remix or something, or Old Town Road.
With Nas?
Yeah, go listen to it. It came out like a week ago or so, or maybe more. But I saw it. It's Lil Nas X featuring Nas. I was like, yo, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's like Lil Wayne, Nas, and DMX into one.
Lil Wayne, the GOAT. GOAT, man.
So what is your, like a guy in your position who's out there, you probably get primarily booked on the show. Like that'll take up a lot of your time. And then in between that, you're working in club dates. How do you make sure that you're hitting your like financial goals and targeted goals for the year?
Well, this year, I try to set up like cities that I know that I can go to like at least once a year. Like I'm going back to Montreal in April and Ottawa. I was there for the festival in Montreal, and then I was in Ottawa in June. So I'm going back again, but this time doing like not the clubs, like a venue. Like in Montreal, it's Theatre St. Catherine, and in Ottawa, it's Live on Elegant. They're like smaller venues, maybe 80 to 100 people. So I want to test that out. Yeah. See how I can do it and get people out. And then April 9th in Toronto at the Ossington, I'm running an hour because I would like to shoot a special. Oh, nice. Whether it's this year or next year. So I'm been working on the material for that. Nice. Which would majority of it would be talking about my mother. Oh, that's great. You can run it with me too. Like at the Comedy Bunker if you want, for sure. So I appreciate that. So we're trying to do that, and I think and then I've written. We have like a 1-pager, based on just like kind of like not my upbringing, but just like at like my family now. Yeah. So like they live together. They all live together. My sister and my brother, or my like something you're pitching. Yeah, it's like Sheb is a writer in Canada, and he helped me put it together. So it's dope. Just I wanted to pitch something like where it kind of like I was just writing when I'd go visit my family. I'd write these ideas down, but I never thought anything of it. Like in I wasn't thinking like I'm gonna write this. It just was like some of the stories were dark, and funny. Do you know what I I was like, I mean, I love the stories about you and your dad. Your bits about your dad. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So it's like I'm like that's my dad. But like a little bit darker, I guess. Yeah, it's based around cancer. So it's like, I go back and I would be like feeling a type of way, but also like kind of sad, but then like funny about it. Right. Like there was humor in it. So then I started jotting it down, and then I approached Sheb and I was like, dude, do you want to help me with this? And we just kind of like sat in a cafe, and over time I throw him the ideas, and I'd be like, this is what I would like, and we wrote it. So I would really like, that would be my like dream. Is to do it like, you know what I mean? Like a show about myself. That'd be cool. Like, or even not like so about myself, but more about this story. I'd even like to see a show about your character on Ramy, like an offshoot episode. Oh, that man. Where you dive more into, because you're like the most mysterious. I am, yeah. I'll tell you that I am. Yeah, you start to, I am. Because you don't know. You don't know. There could be a dark side. There is, and there's because your character always says things that are like on off brand for his like himself. Like he's straight line, but he's not. Like he has like a wild side that and I won't. And I would like to see that, of course. Yeah, on spring break, like just flashback to the '80s, just a whole Myrtle Beach week. Ahmed in Myrtle Beach. I would love that. So I'm hoping Ramy does that. Maybe I'll put some things in his ear and stuff like that. Yo, Myrtle Beach, son. What do you think? He's like, what? Cerebral palsy. How bad do we need his character? I joked about him with that too, like because I remember when I was on Mr. D, I was in a scene the 8th season, so my second summer there, and then I posted on Facebook and all the social media. I'm like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna be on this episode this season," and then my people start hitting me up like, "Yo, man, you're not in the episode." Yeah. And I started to panic because I'm like, and I'd write them, I'm like, maybe you're not looking hard enough. Like I was going at them, and then I contacted somebody I knew, and they're like, yeah, man, sorry, we had to take that scene out. And I'm like, fuck. And then I had to like repost the next day and go, I'm sorry. Like it was just so funny to me to like get so geeked. But I like it on Atlanta when they do like offshoot episodes. When I love it. Like, they're just like something totally different. The barbershop one was one of my favorite ones. Or the mom and Ramy. It's like a whole thing. And that I love that. And I loved it in in Atlanta. The sister one too last year. And then the 9/11 one.
Which one was
like
that?
The one about 9/11.
Oh yeah.
That one wasn't like, I guess, is that an offshoot? But it.
Oh, I mean, it's a flashback, right?
Yeah, but I thought that was really cool. Like that was my favorite episode. Yeah.
But you had to leave Canada at some point because the biz is here, right?
Well, I was doing comedy in Michigan.
Okay.
Like that's where I kind of
so that was your transition? You're like Windsor to Michigan?
Well, there was no rooms really in Windsor. There was like the Yuck Yucks amateur night.
Right.
There wasn't even an amateur night. You just do guest spots on the Thursday.
Yeah.
There was a battle of bands they started on Sundays, and then they had comedians go before the battle of bands. And then it turned into a comedy night after the battle of bands. Like battle of bands thing stopped, and we just took it over as a comedy night.
Right.
And then at one point they did low sales at 40 people, and then the manager at the point shut it down, like the jet, like from Toronto or Hamilton. And we were like, what? So we started to try to do rooms in Windsor, but then I found out about Michigan and Detroit. So I started to go there and tell the border that I was just watching comedy. And then one guy didn't believe me, and then it started to be a whole thing.
Right.
And then I met Jason Rouse, a very funny comedian, who was in Windsor doing Yucks. It was him, Terry Clement, and John Doerr. And Jason was like, oh, you should go to Toronto. And I didn't have that idea. I was like, so I wanted to go from Michigan to New York or LA. Right. I didn't even know how to get a green card, bro. But I knew I wanted to end up in America.
Right.
It was such a border town that I was like, Canada. I was like, Canada? What's in Toronto? We were listening to radio in Detroit. Watching like...
You're already like halfway. You're so close.
Well, I'm Americanized.
Yeah, you don't go back inward towards more Canada.
I didn't even know. I go, Toronto? What the hell? What's that? Like I felt like I wasn't even Canadian. In a sense, where I was like, what?
Well, that's the thing about us. It's like we're so close to all of Canada's across the border of America.
Yeah.
And when you want to go somewhere, you're like, but LA is right there.
Yeah, right there.
Or I can go to Manitoba.
Exactly.
I'm sure it's great, but LA is right there.
Wait, yeah, I've been to Manitoba, but so then I just kind of like, Rouse was like, come. Well, I'm like, yo, I'm going to Toronto because my friends are in a band, and they're moving there. I'm gonna go see them. He goes, okay, let me know. Russell Peters is playing at Yucks. You want to go see him? I go, yeah. And this is when Russell was like
top of the world.
Feel it. Well, he was already like really well known in Canada, but that was, I think, right before he went to the world.
Oh, okay.
So I got to see like the energy in that downtown Toronto club was vibrant as fuck, dude. I'll never forget that. So I'm sitting there, and then Rouse kind of low key convinced me, not low key. He just was like, you should move to Toronto, man. And I did.
Yeah.
And then, and that's how my plan wasn't that originally. I think when I moved to Toronto, I got a call from Funny Business used to book road gigs in Michigan and in the Midwest. They had hit me up and like, do you want to come middle? We can give you feature dates. And I was like, oh shit, that's what I was working for. Towards at the time, but I had no papers.
Right.
And back then they started to get, at first they would give me cash, and then they were like, we can't do this anymore. So then I was like, I couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't. So then you got to get the attorney and do all that.
Yeah, and at the time I was getting cash, and I was like buying it because I was living at home. I was buying tracksuits, Cortezes, at snapback, or just hats. Because I was getting this extra cash from comedy,
right? Which
I was young, but then I was like, okay, I can't do this illegally. So then I moved to Toronto.
Right. And then you got the green card
years later, probably 2015, I got a temporary green card.
Okay, so recently.
Yeah, and in 2016, I think right before Trump got in was when I got the green card.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So now you can come and go as you please.
Yes.
And you came to LA?
I came to LA, and then I was here for about a year, a little bit over a year, and then I moved to New York in 2017. In May.
I did a similar trajectory. I went Seattle because it's like I was like, okay, I'll go. I can get to Seattle. Yeah. So I got a visa to go to Seattle and work there. And I was like, now I'm going to LA. And I came to LA. I'm like, I don't understand how this works.
Oh, it's pretty trippy.
So I went
when you first got.
Well, because you don't know anyone, you don't have any credits. You're just like a guy in town, and everyone's like, yeah, get out of my face. And then you go to New York, and if you meet people in the biz in New York, it's much more like, oh, cool, let's like hang out. Because the whole city isn't the business.
No, that's smart. Yeah, that's. And
so I made a network in New York, and then I came back to LA.
That's what I kind of felt too. I just wanted to move somewhere like that, where it's like everything wasn't about Hollywood. Right. So that's when New York, when I moved in 2017, it was like dope because it just kind of switched my mentality. I felt better. Yeah. It was like a restart.
And it's a great town for comedy, like great probably town, like the best.
It's it is. I won't even say it's the best. Like Toronto's amazing too, but not.
Yeah. Oh, Toronto,
not big enough. Yeah. Clearly, it's not like in New York. People are doing like 7, 10 sets a night. Insane.
It is insane. But yeah, we were hanging out at a comedy bar doing shows there, and that was awesome.
It's awesome. That vibe is awesome, but that took a lot of years, right? Because comedy bar's been around since 2009.
Okay,
it wasn't always like that in the city.
Really?
Like,
it was my first time there in the summer.
So you liked it, yeah.
You can get to both rooms, and you're just
sweet, dude.
You just pop back and forth. Everyone's in the middle hanging out, and
there was like a hangout, I guess, but a lot of before
Jerk
that.
King is down the street.
Don't even like. Fuck, I eat that like every time I'm there. Like 5 days.
I ate it every time.
Yeah.
Like 3 times.
I gained so much weight when I was there over the holidays.
What's about like the best Jamaican places? They hate that you're in their place. Yeah. You come in and they're just like, they give you the vibe, like, get the fuck out of here.
There's more. I should have took the other ones. I'm not really well, and I can ask somebody in the city that knows those spots proper, and I don't know them proper.
Yeah.
But there's places that people have taken me places, even the worst customer service. like I mean bad. Like I ask them to order.
Like that's how good the food is.
Yeah. There's one up at King.
Sometimes they don't even give me what I ordered, and I'm just like, all right,
you gotta walk out, dude. You gotta. That's how it is in Chinatown.
Yeah.
One time I'm like, yo, I didn't order this, and he just looked at me. He goes, yeah, you did, and I'm like, okay. I guess I'm eating
now.
it. Yeah.
Was it good?
Like, no, I don't think it was, dude. You can't. I had that stank where like this guy does. This guy knows I didn't order this.
Yeah.
So
I
love
it. We're so used to like a good customer experience that when you go back to like these old school places where it's just like a family or like a dude who's like real tough, you're like, oh yeah, this is how the world used to be.
Yeah. Well, also like shawarma places where I grew up where the customer service sometimes wasn't the best. They didn't have time to like, they weren't like, hey, how's your day? They don't give a fuck.
No, like here, styrofoam food.
You get it.
Get out.
So I was kind of used to that.
Yeah.
Kind of like in my culture where it's like the customer service is kind of like a little bit reckless.
Yeah. I was in Brooklyn waiting to do a show. I got there early. And so I went across the street. There was this like halal Chinese place. I'm like, this has to be good. It was so dirty in the lobby. But they were so actually really friendly. And like everything was like $6. And it was so good. And I was like, how is this?
Dude, some places in New York, you'll find like that deal like where it's amazing.
Like this guy, he's not on Yelp or nothing. No. Like people are just like.
That's the dope part about that city.
Cash only.
Like, I love the cash only. It makes me angry, but like, I don't,
It makes you angry when you don't have it, but it's kind of nice.
It's nice when you do have it, but it's like, you know, if you don't plan ahead and then you're like, fuck, it's 2 a.m.
Or you got to use like the ATM, which is basically stealing your stuff for $5.
I hate that shit, dude. I'm even getting anxiety thinking about it. I fucking hate it.
What's the plan for you in LA while you're here?
I usually come around February because of the cold in New York in February. If I could escape it a bit. So that's clearly my goal. I did it last year too. And then I get to see people like you, hang with you.
Do some spots. You got a Dave Merheje and Friends coming up, right?
I do on the 21st of February. It's at 10 p.m. in the lab. So, and then just kind of like try to audition and just hang out, man. You know?
Yeah.
So
presence on both sides. Yeah. And you have a theatrical agent?
I have the UTA. Like, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I didn't know the term. But I just got signed like maybe like a week ago.
Oh, congrats.
Fresh.
That's big.
Yeah. It was very fresh. And
did you do commercials and stuff too or no?
I haven't auditioned for a commercial in 10 years, man. I'd never get them in Canada. To the point, bro, in Toronto, I told my agent in Canada, I go, stop putting me through this.
Oh, like you would go and
bro, I never got anything. And then one time, it was the biggest turnoff. I was wearing a fedora.
Yeah.
I saw this fedora. I thought it was cool. Probably wasn't cool.
I need to go shopping with you.
Yeah. So the fedora era for me. And then I go to this McDonald's commercial. I do the first audition.
With the fedora?
Fedora on. Manager calls me the next day, or agent, and she goes, Carolyn, she's still my agent. And she's like, Dave, you got to call back if I go for it. She's like, for McDonald's. I go, wicked. She goes, before I forget, bring the fedora. I go, what? She goes, bring the fedora. I go, for what? I'm going to wear, why do I have to wear the fedora? She's like, they just asked to bring the fedora. I go, okay. So I get in there and then I'm waiting in the lobby with my fedora and they want to go in and they bring everyone in just to tell them like the you know how it is, like the rules so that they don't tell everyone individually. Yeah. Bro, we walk in, a fedora's on the table.
Yeah.
Not yours. Not mine. It wasn't there the first audition. They added a fedora in.
Oh, to everyone.
Everyone so they could put it on. And I look.
Changed the game of the commercial.
So I look, I go, what the fuck? And the fedora is whacker than my whack fedora. I'm like, do I have to wear? I was like, fuck. And I go in, I do it, and I'm kind of pissed, low key. I was like, this fucking, it's so stupid. Didn't get it, obviously. And then, they used the fedora and the thing. I think that was the last commercial audition I went. And I remember I just told my agent, I go, man, look, I know you guys are being helpful. Yeah. And I know you want me. I just don't think I could book commercials. It's been so many years. The fedora incident left a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't think I've
It's like they stole your setup and used someone else's punchline.
Yeah, but it's just like, fuck, man. The whole thing gave me anxiety. So I just kind of was like, I don't really want to do... One time I got yelled at. The person in the back came from the back through the doors, and he goes, "We just need more energy, man. You won the lotto." And I'm like, okay. I didn't even know who that. I didn't even get a chance to go, who was that? And I go, I never had a good experience, and I just asked my agents if I could bow out of commercial auditions in Canada, and I haven't.
And you haven't been back since.
No, and I don't really miss it at all.
I mean, it's a lot of like non-union stuff, and it's
people are good at it. I don't think I could be good at it, but there's no
but now it's changed because now your look is very in.
Yeah, man.
Versus 10 years ago.
10 years ago wasn't it? I remember someone's like, "Oh, this beard thing." I'm like, "Look, I'm clinically depressed right now. That's the reason I have this beard." And then I never trimmed it.
So you had the beard 10 years ago.
In 2009, I was so depressed. I had this beard, and then I think I had sex with a girl I liked, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I love this beard," and I never took it off.
So you've had it since.
I'd shave it sometimes when I broke up with a girl.
Oh,
and
then you're like a girl cuts her hair after a breakup. You cut your beard.
I was, and then Amir K, very funny comedian.
Love Amir K.
Amir K is one of my favorite humans, like off stage and on stage is humor. He's like, if you hang with him, you're laughing all night. He was like, you look like a condom when you shave. He goes, don't do that. And then I think legitimately we were at his house here in LA, his apartment, and he said that. And I've never
shaved since.
Man.
I've been thinking about getting rid of it.
It suits you, bro.
Oh, it does? Thank you.
It suits you. I don't, but you also have hair.
Right.
Like you have hair. So if you shave that, it's fine. Like you have a good haircut. Your hair is nice. Mine is like, I'm bald, bro.
Right.
So I get rid of this beard. There's like nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, we usually wrap this up by talking about what the goals are for the next year. And so what are some of your personal and professional goals?
Personal, just to... I find I get angry. I'm like an angry person.
Angry?
I'm so angry sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
You let it out in a funny way, though.
I know, but off stage, like if I'm on the train, I'm just like boiling, bro. If something bothers me, that's what I want to fix with myself.
Right. Like you can't let it go?
No, I'm getting better though, bro. I used to just it was internally, I was just fucking losing it.
Yeah.
So I want to work on that, and I have been just so that I could feel healthier. That's one of my personal.
Like meditating or.
Therapy, and then like also just talking to myself out of it. Like, what are you getting mad at, man?
Right.
You can't control that. So it's a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of accepting it and moving on and being like, it's okay to be mad, and then
exactly self-care, basically.
Self-care,
but professionally, get the special done. I want to shoot the special, and then get my own show made, which I'm assuming a lot of people have the same kind of like goals.
Right. It's like coming to LA. I want to direct. Yeah.
I don't want. I would joke on set to the director of Ramy. I go, bro, let me direct for 20 minutes. And he's like, what? I go, like a remix. He goes, oh, what? I go, I want a drone shot in a diner. He goes, I'm like, come on, let me pitch that. A24. I was like, and then the director was like, yo, you should tell Mahershala when Mahershala was filming about that. I go, oh yeah, I will. And I went over. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, the director, Chris, is like, yo, tell him what your idea you want to direct. I go, yeah, I want to do like a guest remix like an artist does, directed for like 20 minutes,
like a hot 8 minutes.
Yeah,
of
I said 20 minutes, and Mahershala goes, you mean a whole episode? That's a whole episode.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, you're right. Because I said remix. Remix is like I thought like And he goes, it's a whole episode, brother.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. And it was just awkward. And I was like, yeah. Walk away.
Because you don't know each other that well, right?
No, but he was super cool, man. He was like one of the coolest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
He was very.
But he's still trying to evaluate you, right? And he's like, he wants to direct. He wants to remix.
Yeah. I was like, He
says he's from Canada. I don't believe him.
He was so. Yeah, there was a couple. He was he was talking. We were all talking, and I think he like said something like about me being Muslim, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't stop him.
You just let him roll with it.
Let him roll with it, and then next day I told Ramy, and he goes, "What?" He goes, "You lied." I didn't lie. I go, "Well, now I got to pretend to be Muslim till we finish filming." And then he told him, and then we had this like funny. He goes, "Man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't assume." Like, oh, I panicked.
Right.
And we just had this like little laugh about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far of a jump. You have the beard. You're Lebanese. You're on the show. I'm sure it happened. It can't be the first time it's happened to you.
No, it happens all the time, man.
Yeah,
and then
I might
like,
have done it.
You might. Then I'm like, I'm Christian Lebanese from Canada, and then I think the Canada part also goes Canada.
Right.
Just it like. They might be not pissed, but they're like, Canada, really?
Right.
That might throw them for a loop.
It takes Americans a second to process Canada because they're like, what is that again?
They go, what is that again? And do they have those people there?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
They don't. I think they think there's like 2 races there or 1.
They don't really know what's going on.
They have no idea.
My friend told me that like when he was studying geography in America, there was like the teacher asked him, so what's above Maine? And he's like, just ocean. Because like the map would just be America and it would be blue all around it. And so he just thought it was ocean above that.
You know how crazy with it when he goes above that? He goes, we're not an ocean. We're like in, they don't, well, at your show, some guy outside, his mom's Canadian, was like, I think he just didn't know that Toronto was in Ontario.
Where do you think it was?
He separated it. Like, I don't know.
I get a lot like Vancouver. Oh, that must be near Toronto. I get that a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Or this is a true story. It's hard to believe, but when I first moved here, I was at dinner with some people.
Yeah.
And this older lady was like, so when you go home, do you fly into SeaTac and dog sled the rest of the way with a straight face?
Oh, my God.
And I was like, yes.
Yes, past the potatoes.
Right, exactly.
Dude, yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming.
This was really fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. I think we had a great time. And we'll have you back.
I wouldn't tell you that. I would have just been like, thank you for having me.
Right. Okay, now I know for next time what your no is. See, you're already Hollywood. You know how to say no with a smile.
No, but I think I've said that. You've done it too, probably. You've done a podcast where you're like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, what are you going to tell the person after they go, thank you for having me? You're going to be like, hey, man, this thing's fucked. You got to be like, you could, but then it's going to create some. So hey, man.
You don't want to know the truth.
No. So I
just
legitimately
troll with weird comments. Take this down, please. Yeah, well, let's grab some lunch, and thanks again, Dave. Yes. Appreciate you. Oh, wait, how do people find you?
Oh, shit. Dave, Merheje, at Dave Merheje for all social media.
Perfect. And watch his special on Netflix. It's super funny. And he's got a new one coming this year. And
hopefully.
You're going to work on it this year.
Yeah.
And if you catch him, you'll see it in progress. So see him on tour. Thanks again, Dave.
Thank you,
and we'll see you soon. Bye.